Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Leaders Only Live and Digital Show and Podcast brought to you by What a Change, Mentoring Inc. and Tone Drone TV. I'm your host, Kendall.
And I'm Semaj.
Today, man, we're here to let y'all know um, to continue to like, subscribe, click, hit the bell, comment. You can comment while we live. We'll be answering your comments during the show, and also for every story that we have, the links are in the clip notes on the show. Yeah, man, we ready to get into it today, man.
And if you're watching the playback, make sure you put hashtag replay in the comments as well.
Yes, sir. Last week, we was talking about the arrests and the gun violence of the youth and the football games. We've been tackling that. So this week, we want to tackle the discussion of the curfew that PG County has enforced.
Right.
So I'll give you a couple highlights of that. They started from what is it? The curfew times are from Monday to Thursday, and it'll be from the hours of 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. And then Friday and Saturday, it will be from the hours of 10 p.m. to
I think they extended.
they extended it. Yeah, they gave them an hour. So it's 11. They got to be in the house before midnight, no matter what.
Yeah.
So what you think about that?
I think whenever the system or the city or the community tries to, offer any help, it's a start. Because as we've been building on, these are your children.
Right.
And then after them being your children, we've been trying to continuously emphasize on community and it being a village. So any extra help from outside of our community and outside of our walls and our village, it should just be like a bonus to where it's not like that's the first thing or y'all not doing enough. So I know it's like a constant battle to where you're like, man, what is curfew going to do? To me, I also believe there are certain hours that, the youth shouldn't be out. Been having conversations with parents frequently, which is why, I just said what I said about, just keeping your distance from whether it be relatives or just be people that's close, because it hurts, when you talk about it taking $300,000 to raise a kid, and that's part of raising that kid, allowing them to be able to have that bedroom to themselves, that privacy, that comfort to be able to not want to be in the streets, but maybe, as I continuously say, we have some land, we have a compound, where, we got enough people their age that they could be around, but then we got a safe haven because other families are doing it too, and we have more acres of land to where, they're all hanging together, and we don't have to worry about them running to the streets or being somewhere being mischievous. Yeah, and it being more about love, raising children in love. So I feel like it's not enough. It's never gonna be enough.
Right.
But that's like with anything. You know what I'm saying? We sit here each week, and I'm pretty sure somebody can critique something, but the intent of what we're doing, you know what I'm saying? The things that we're doing should outweigh that. But you could sit here and go da 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 da. Same thing we could do with the system, and I don't ever want people to think that I'm saying, oh, the system is right. What I'm saying is us first. Let's try to do as much as we can so it doesn't even look like it has to fall down on this big old checklist that they have. Like, they have a lot to do, you know what I'm saying, because you're dealing with multiple households, people parent different. Some people don't have the parents there. It might be grandma, so of course it's helping her because she probably couldn't get little JoJo and little CC to listen. You know what I'm saying? She been telling them for months.
To stay in the house.
Yeah, or they gonna knock you up.
Yeah.
So to some people, it's
like,
a blessing. You know what I'm
yes,
saying?
yeah.
Then, from us being born in the 80s, it's something that we can identify with because I thought that's just the way it was. I thought it was curfew still. I didn't know that they were just implementing it. I thought when a cop see a child out that looks, under 18 and it's at the hours, or an adult, period, we should be like, what they doing out here? Because, believe it or not, you see young kids out sometimes, and it might be dark. It may not even be 11:59 or 10 o'clock. It just be dark, and you just be looking like, hold up, why you out here by yourself?
Yeah, where your parents?
You know what I'm saying? So I agree with that being one thing. I don't think it's the end all be all, and I also don't think it's the thing that mend the situation that we're going through.
Right. Yeah, cause I like just like you said, I could piggyback off that. I do remember the curfew. We grew up in Virginia Beach. A lot of it was definitely a curfew. We definitely had to be in the house at a certain time, and then past that with our mom,
Yeah,
we it wasn't none of that. Like
yeah.
you
It was
coming up
jokes
in,
like the street lights.
yeah,
You
like
know, when the
yeah,
street lights come on, you
you
better
better be
be.
up in here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so we definitely can
I
can
think that
relate.
can
It can
be something that goes with the matriarch too. Losing to us, it was like Big Mama or your grandma.
right,
I feel like the absentee of that now and that age and that structure of somebody that was just shutting it down and retiring, more so like, okay, I'll look after the children.
yeah,
I have the time
right,
to do it. To where now, it's getting a little bit younger and grandma got things she want to do.
right.
She out. You know what I'm
Grandma in
saying?
her late
Um,
30s, early 40s
yeah.
now, like
So
so.
we
Yeah,
don't even have kids. Also, kids not playing in the streets as far as like when the lights come on.
right.
Just a pickup game of football or
Yeah,
playing
you
tag.
don't see that no more.
No, it's the video game or let me go be an adult or take my
Yeah,
best try at being an adult. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So yeah, that's the way I feel about it.
Yes,
I
sir.
hope and pray, not even I hope, I pray that it just leads to other things and other conversations.
And unity, man.
Yes, and other options.
Yes.
Because it's not the solution, but I just pray that it leads to other options and other conversations.
And also just to quote it, it's only a 30-day trial run.
Yeah,
So well, this
it's
is
trial
just a
and
try,
error.
you know.
Um,
Um,
but message, we gonna have to do our part in our households too. So
absolutely. So
anything that they're doing, don't give them a reason to say, look, we tried too. We tried this. Because that's another thing that they do when they slap the 30 days up there. And it's like, look, we tried that. It didn't work.
yep.
Let's visit it next year.
Yeah,
And
then,
we see these numbers. I mean, you just see Labor Day, Philadelphia and Chicago.
yeah, man.
So can you imagine trying to revisit something? We don't have even 6 months with this. Somebody's mother, somebody's sister, somebody's brother is going to be somewhere crying tonight, right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In mourning.
Right.
So just try to put a plug in it the best way
Yeah.
we can.
And just remember, this is the start. This is just the start. I'm just gonna enlighten y'all that monkeypox cases are on the rise. Just practice cleanliness, good personal hygiene. COVID numbers are still around, so try to keep your social distancing. Keep your mask on, keep your hands clean, keep your sanitizer in your bag, and also if you are having any problems or overbearing with issues, stress, feeling suicidal, anything of that nature, and you feel like you need to call somebody with your mental health issues, we have our own number. It's 988.
Yes. And as the seasons change too, we both caught some type of whatever it was, some type of little bug. But that's the importance of having the watermelon here and growing our own food, but staying off a lot of the other stuff so the virus can't attack. It's been good to have a clean immunity system and be able to work out and stuff because it gets in and it gets out. We were down one day.
One day.
Took a day and a half just to be on the safe side. But that's what it's about. It's not that you'll never get sick and you can't control what's in the environment in the air. It's about building that safety net with your body so things can't live inside you. We're going to be attacked. We're under attack. So it's about creating the best temple that you can so it can fight off the attack.
Yes, sir. Now we're gonna dive into this story. Story PG County. Um, a father was shot by his 15-year-old son. Um, the 15-year-old son also killed his 8-year-old brother and shot and killed his mother.
Right.
Now it wasn't too much about why he did it or anything, but the dad. The highlight of the story is how the dad is attacking it and is using it for positivity. Um, he would be speaking at a Lisa Ray event too in Poolsville,
Right.
Maryland, about it. He's going to tell you about how he feels about his son. One of the comments he made was, and it was amazing, he forgave his son. He loves his son, but his son does have to face the consequences of his actions. Um, so what you think about that?
The first thing I did, that's the first thing I did do was look for. I did look for the why, like, cause that's, I mean, with every situation, that's the most important. But in this situation, man, it just blew my mind. Be honest, and it made me think about a Kendrick song on his new album, where uh, where he's kind of pretty much referencing to everybody being a killer, right? Um, so we look at this young kid, he's 15, and we know that he pulled the trigger and did it in cold blood. He also tried to take his father's life, but that didn't happen. So, and somewhere in here, this was supposed to happen, and God was there because his father was being able to live it out through one perspective, and he's going to be able to live it out through a whole total perspective of actually being a suspect, but then he's going to be a victim too, as he's getting ready to go into, you know, prison. And now everything's gonna unfold. His mental capacity is gonna unfold. What he was upset about, it could have been something small, hurt, lonely, anything. All the things that we've been continuously speaking on, we can watch and get ready. And that's the great part about us being able to keep coming back and being able to talk about how it's playing out. But I just have I have a mixed emotions because everybody sees death as just when you commit that crime. So it's right there, splat on, it's literal, but it's no different than, when your parents are sick or you feeding somebody. This is what Kendrick was saying in the song. Like, we come together in these family functions and then we eat death, right?
Mm.
So that's killing. You still a killer. You know what I'm saying? You still a suspect. I look at it in the same way. It's just this one. I'm like, man, I love my mom so much, which is why this week, that's the type of conversation I had with my therapist, to see people. I even said, yo, are we coming together in love? Or are we coming together now because we trauma bonded? Is that why it's so much easier for people who want to get drunk to hang around each other, but somebody who don't want to do nothing but drink water and build with you, you don't want to push them away? Or it's so much easier for people who you'll go to the gym, they may do three days out of the month and calculate their progress through those 3 pictures, but you don't want to deal with the person who's going every single day.
Dang.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm taking this story in, and then to see his father operate in love because he has to forgive him. You know what I'm saying? But I also be thinking about, like, yo, you 40% your mother, you 40% your father, right? This is where I look at your makeup, and you live your whole life to find that other 20%. You could either become 50% of your parents, 50% of your mother, 50% of your father. But the more I look at daddy and he does things like with scratching his nose or, you know what I'm saying, little things that I do this subconsciously, you know what I'm saying, not knowing, but now I see him going back to being younger. I'm like, Dad, you know what I'm saying, I do that right now. So I know I'm their makeup. So it's up to me to just get my brain. The physical part of you is going to look like them regardless. And even in their highest version of themselves. So with that, I'm like, Dad, yo, do his dad be thinking about, like, yo, I remember that time when I was young and I had this issue. There's a show called Dexter, and he a serial killer, right? But his dad taught him how to be a serial killer.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So I just be thinking about stuff like that. Like, Dad, was it the music that possibly his dad was listening to? Did his dad ever say, man, I'll kill this B? Man, she better. Stuff like that, just because they ain't say why. So that's the first. I just be going through just different scenarios. But then, like, my younger sibling, I mean, I remember when Mommy moved the table so we could fight, and I didn't want to fight. You know what I'm saying? I feel different about fighting. I feel different about taking on battles. You know what I'm saying? Because I gotta literally, like, dislike. Like, it don't do good for me just to be mad for a moment, and we fight, and I want to do some harm to you, and then we just gonna be like, we good. I'm like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Because I'd rather go step 1 through 10 trying to talk to you or come back to, or you chill. Because once we get to blows and stuff, like, bro, you trying to hurt me. And I gotta protect myself. I don't really rock with you like that. And that's in a sense kind of weird to me too. Because you'll see people who can just do it. But then that's what I mean by you bonding in trauma. You know what I'm saying? Y'all both in a low frequency, so we'll be cool in a couple of minutes. You know what I'm saying? Just blow off. So I think about that. I was thinking about that. I just don't know how you can harm your sibling. Nah, your sibling. I get. I'm not saying I get why you harm your parent, but when you're a kid, you look at your parent like authority. You know what I'm saying? So you may not go to the extent of killing them, but you be like, man, I can't wait till I can get out of this house, man. Go slam the door, man. I hate that. They get on my nerves. This is more extreme, but those emotions be there. Now to turn them on your brother or your sister when that's like they the people who understand you. You know what I'm saying? They y'all kids, like kids get kids, adults get adults. So it's like a line that's split, like slave master and a slave. You know what I'm saying? So you going back and you're on the plantation, you gonna go talk to your brother and sister because that's another thing, being confined in a room. You know what I'm saying? I start thinking about that too. Again, with this $300,000 a year to raise a kid, and I thought about, man, I didn't get my own bedroom not until I went to college, but when I decided when I was in college to go get my own apartment, then I got my own bedroom. But is it like sharing a cell the whole time? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it like sharing, like you got a bed right there, I got a bed right here, it's a twin bed, then you go, you know what I'm saying?
Is.
So I was thinking about that, like how that can really.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, I didn't really realize that until I went to prison that night. Yeah, it's the same setup, kind of like, it's real tight in here for two grown, two teenagers to be living up in here. You know, just like it's real tight for two grown men to be living up in here. It's kind of like, if you look at it now, it's kind of like a disciplinary, if you, in a sort, like, y'all sharing the room. You know, we don't even get the option of, can we have our own room? You know what I'm saying? So,
and then that goes, like, again, I just be thinking about how much, and people just, when they think financially, that means to have enough space, that means to have enough comfort, that means to have enough time, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
This allows you to put your child in the right program if they need therapy, if they need meditation, if we need to do this together, if we need to take a little bit extra time in the morning, you know what I'm saying? Everything be so on the go, and then we can't say that we don't do it because I see it, you know what I'm saying? I'm starting to see it. That's why the other day I was like, bro, I ain't never again, you know what I'm saying? Because these like you talking to a kid, you know what I'm saying? Don't no kid want to be talked to like that. Not saying that it's right to grab a gun and go off your emotion, but how do you tell a 15-year-old, a 16-year-old, 17-year-old don't deal with that when they seeing you, although you 37, 38, 40, you 16, 17, fit, you do it. You know what I'm saying? You punch a hole in the wall. You might smack the mom. You say it again. And you like, hold up. We just told each other we love each other this morning. You know what I'm saying? And it's all wrapped in some way. So I was just taken aback. Nothing really surprises me no more because again, this phone is so desensitized that it's just like you just be waiting like, what's the thing today? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes even when our stories come across, that's why I have to get a full perspective in my mind so I could try to bring some light to it, because if not, we could be up here just crying or be sad or every week.
Tough,
you know what I'm saying? Every week when you are empath and you just you know that these are our people. Beyond it just being a story in the press, these are our babies. You know what I'm saying? These are our brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? Where we just say that stuff so casually and so lightly, like, what's up, brother? What's up, sister? What's up, king? What's up, queen? But that stuff should hold weight. You know what I'm saying? It should have extra value to where a story like this come across. You like, man, you know, I also, when I heard it, I just like, man, I wanted to speak to the father. That went through my mind like, yo, just like with G, I can't wait to speak to him, because this stuff, it's really happening right around us, and this blow, like when we were standing out in front of the apartment building, he was telling us a story. You know, we won't go into it, but I'm like, this really happened?
Yeah.
And, like, you my neighbor?
Yeah.
Like, this is for real? And so I can only imagine now when he goes to the Lisa Ray function and he speaks, but the other side of when you open your mouth and you give a testimony, you know what I'm saying, you also opening that door to get other people's testimony, you know what I'm saying, you allowing that,
because you never know
that pressure to
with
come
the same
down.
situation.
Yeah, and that's what I meant by the God energy was there, you know what I'm saying, because it's allowing this father to be able to still went through it, and how is this man going to heal? What's going to be his? Now, he got options, you know what I'm saying? And the first thing he did was choose love. That's a big step, you know what I'm saying? Because that means in some way you're choosing the God energy, you're choosing the spiritual route, you know what I'm saying? Opposed to getting hung up in his lower self and his man self and just want to harm his child or forget him or be so hurt, you know, that he lost his companion, that now it's going to be able to help amazing amount of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying, on different levels too, because it also teaches you how to forgive something super smaller. It's gonna teach other people who's walking around here with grudges over the Cowboys and the Commanders.
And this man just,
you know what I'm saying,
lost his child, just killed his
wife. So
and he
we walking around with that anger and harboring it, and man, I ain't never speaking to so and so again. And you know, he went like, this is why things happen. You know, we don't control what happens, and we wish that it could just be a perfect world.
Mm-hmm.
But this is why stuff happens, so we can learn from it, and people take that high road. You know, that's why I try to choose it, and I continuously implement it, and it does hurt. But when you read about the great stories and how people run to the, you know, the Jesuses and the Moseses, and well, that's what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? The Martin Luther Kings, although it sounded, you know, it sounded crazy. You know what I'm saying? But it's not that I don't want to hurt you, or I can't hurt you, but hurting you hurts me because they thinking on a different level. They thinking about all of us being together as one team. You know what I'm saying? So me doing something to you hurts me. Mm-hmm. His father's taking that approach in this, you know what I'm saying, this thing. And that's where I believe that a lot of those stories in these books and the messages be getting lost, because we start looking at these people as idols and fictitious people. No, just keep learning from it and pull out. So your story doesn't have to be that extreme. You ain't got to be nailed to the cross. Right. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He did that, so you don't have to go through that. But you should be taking your little issues and sprinkling your mm-hmm. Yahshua, or your Jesus, or your Moses moment, whatever your name is. Yeah. That's when you starting to carve your chapters and your part of the Bible that was written, whatever, of this whole thing called life. You know what I'm saying? Why you here? I commend him for that. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. It inspires me to want to continue to keep going and keep being better, because that's when I know that it's some beauty in the world, even in the midst of the most ugliest stuff. It's pretty much what we've been doing. He's utilizing alchemy, something else we continue to speak about. And then, you know, at some point, I pray, you know, that him and his son get to heal together. You know mm-hmm. what I'm saying? Especially
because it's going to eventually come out.
And especially on this route. And I pray that, you know, that his son does get tried as a child. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The more that everything comes out, because he's gonna go through this pain regardless. It's done. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna replay back in his mind. And if his father, who was there, is willing to forgive him, you know what I'm saying? I feel like whatever the consequences are going to be, just as well as his father said, they do have to be paid. But I believe if there's some way to keep them, as he go in that system, tied together, where they can, even when they do their visits and stuff, they can have a counselor there, things like that, so they can have real conversations.
That's one thing they do provide in the system. They do provide.
Yeah, so that would be great.
And
you know what I'm saying?
Like Van Jones from CNN, he created a lot of programs where they
good. So when they come home, they can keep growing, though. They can keep growing and keep building together. But yeah, my heart goes out to him, though. You know, and I know his father at some point felt anger, and I know he felt hate, and I know he did. You know, that's why it's going to be interesting as they continue to speak on it too, just to hear his raw emotions. That'd be the greatest part of, hearing people's story for me. It's like reading a book. Don't just shoot me the synopsis. Take me through the journey and then put me on the climax, so we can get to that glory moment. Because I feel like we so conditioned and we so used to the trauma and we so used to the depression and the pain that we need, even when it come out of these stories, we need it. We need somebody to step up and say, you know what? I'm doing this for my next life. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing this for my soul. I'm doing this for my spirit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even playing that game with y'all no more. You know what I'm saying? Because when it is a stranger, it's gonna be easier for his father to be like, man, I ain't dealing with no arguments, man. You got it, bro. I got enough pain on me. Mm-hmm. They might get into it. Like, you'd be surprised, you know what I'm saying? Like, trauma bonding is not the worst thing in the world, because that's what testimonies do. You locking in at that trauma. It's just, we can't stay there. Oh, man, I was watching the 85 South show early, right before we came out here, and the dude said, yeah, he said, yeah, God does love you as you are, but that don't mean stay there. Yeah. that was real. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he do. Like if you 500 pounds, he love you. If you a hole, he love you. Do. But that don't mean you got to stay there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He also has wants for you too. He also put you here to do things. He also meant for you to be the best version of yourself. So that don't mean just because you can do something, do it. You know what I'm saying? In terms of free will, we have to use this power of discernment. Power of discernment has to become stronger than free will. If you got free will, I mean, you can go do anything. But when you got the power of discernment, you're going to really sit there and think. You're going to think about the outcomes. Is this worth it? Is it in line? You know what I mean? I think we need just more of that. You know what I mean? We're going to have more. We're going to get the negative. We're going to get all these shootings and the driving and people crashing into people over and over and over. But we don't never get the breakdowns and how it, you know, the treatments and, you know, how they come about it and the beautiful part of it that can help other people go through it, because we all identify with trauma. We all identify with alcohol. We all identify with abuse in different forms, you know what I'm saying, whether it be verbal, physical, domestic. There's so many levels, and it's like it's hundreds of millions of people that live just here, you know what I'm saying? When you had that many people, of course you have more in common than you don't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why when this story came across, I couldn't do nothing but just sit there and just think for a second, like, man, some of the stories I done heard about some of my family members, you know what I'm saying? And some of the stories, it's just like, man, like I said the other day, I'm exhausted,
Right.
you know? I just wish we just love each other more,
That's it.
you know what I'm saying? As corny and cliche as it sounds, I just wish people just fall in love with themselves, find their purpose, find something, yo, that's worth waking up every day that's bigger than you to say, man, I ain't losing it. Because until we have that, you feel like there ain't nothing worth it. There's nothing that I won't give up. Man, what? I'll give up my life. It ain't nothing that I want to be here for. And even though, you know, I'm preparing myself for different realms, man, that's where I believe. You know what I'm saying? I believe there's the soul plane, the physical plane, the spirit plane. I believe this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to live my life in accordance to that in my 3D on this thing. You know what I'm saying? While I'm here, that's what I would encourage other people to do. But I don't care no more. You could just be an example, be a shining light. Keep going, keep praying for bright people to come to you. I know it's hard. Keep praying for strength. Keep praying for, you know what I'm saying, the ability to be alone but not lonely. You know what I'm saying? Keep praying for healing, because your opportunities are going to come. They're going to come. And then when they don't come, create them. You know what I'm saying? That's the beautiful part about it being so much chaos and disarray and problems. There's so many avenues for solutions.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? If everything was all good, then we wouldn't even need nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I look at that too. You know what I'm saying? And as I always do, I run to Les Brown. But he said, when there's chaos, that means there's ample opportunity. You know what I'm saying? To do something great.
Yes, sir, man. We hope y'all enjoyed the show here on Leaders Only Podcast and Digital Show. I'm also here again to say, feel free, because it's free to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell.
Yes, and comment and follow everybody. Leaders Only Show, Tone Drone TV, What a Change, Mentoring,
Touch of Kendall.
Touch of Kendall's, El Capitan Ambassador, El Capitan Cartel. Thank you guys. We love you guys. We appreciate you. I felt like today was another good one, man.
Yes,
we hope
sir.
we can help somebody because you guys are helping us.
Oh, yeah, and that event is on September 28th in Poolville, Maryland. The guy, the father of the son will be speaking.
Yes, and if
Lisa,
you're looking for any way to reach out, mentoring and stuff like that, accountability partners, that's what I like to say. People that just keep you on track. Just feel free to hit us at that Leaders Only Show 22 at gmail.com. We're not trying to dictate your life, but we are. If you're trying to go in the right direction, we're just looking for people that we can hold accountable, that'll hold us accountable.
Yes, sir. We love y'all. Peace.
Peace.